Today, we have an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the lasting impact of Danny Wimmer Presents for what they impart on our local Louisville community. This positive impact goes way beyond the 8 festival days, that bring thousands of people to Louisville throughout the month of September. We have many community representatives and distinguished guests with us today who are appreciative of the goodwill generated through these festivals. We truly value the partnership our city has with Danny Wimmer, Danny Hayes, and the entire DWP team, who continue to reaffirm their commitment to Louisville every year. So today, to kick this off, we have a full agenda, by the way. So to kick this off, I'd like to introduce Kentucky Venues President and CEO, David Beck. As you know, the Kentucky Expo Center's grounds are the host site for the back-to-back festivals, and we are pleased to be meeting here today. So, David Beck, thank you.
Thank you, Cleo, and thanks for what you and your team do here with Louisville Tourism. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Kentucky Exposition Center. On behalf of Kentucky Venues, we welcome you here today at this facility. You will manage 2 properties. We have a convention center downtown, this one. Between the 2, we'll do about 340 events a year. In fact, Cleo, already for the first 10 months of this year, we've had over 6.5 million people come through our doors. So that's a big increase already over last year. So it's great to have you here today. In fact, you came in, you may have seen some livestock. We've got the world's largest livestock show taking place here as you're in this room today. In fact, today is the easiest day of all the last several to be able to find a parking place. Over 200,000 people coming in, and some from around the world. We're here to talk about Danny Wimmer and what they do. I just want to tell you, 4 or 5 years ago when I first met Danny, I was so impressed with these individuals. They're great partners. They do so much in such a great way. As we work with Doris and Marty and all their group, I've learned a lot about their industry, but also another component of tourism, what it means. They have a wonderful vision for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. They really do, long term. They also have it for our community here. And we benefit greatly with them. Of all our shows we have, they're all pretty unique. But when you think about DWP concerts in September, that has become a regular standard for our calendar in the Commonwealth, particularly here in Louisville. It means so much. Yeah, sure, we'll have 300,000 plus people from 22 countries. It's a big draw, and it's big business for Louisville, Kentucky. But I want to tell you something else from my standpoint. They have demonstrated their ability to do it the right way. We've learned so much from them. I remember our initial contract signing. We were looking at subsidies and incentives from government, and they didn't want them in their pocket. They said, put them back into facilities to make Louisville better for other clients to benefit. And to me, that said volumes about who they are, what they stand for, and what they want to do. Let me say something else, too. Yeah, I believe economic development includes tourism, and these type of events is part of economic development for the Commonwealth. When I look at what they do, and I see the people coming in from all the different states and other countries, it says a lot about our way of life here in Louisville, Kentucky. We have something for everybody, and that's so important. As you look today, you think about it, people come in. I think it helps us with recruiting employees. I think it helps us with retention existing employees, regardless of the profession or areas they work. In addition to that, it helps cause people to think about Louisville, and they may invest here. They may want to do business with Kentucky. And so all that are benefits besides just wonderful weekends of good, solid entertainment. I can't say enough about them and what they're doing here today. The contributions they're making, giving back to some nonprofits in our area says a lot. And I commend them and compliment them for doing that. We're glad they're here and look forward to a long-term relationship with DWP and all that they bring to Louisville.
You know, David's just a little busy today. As he said, he's got North American International Livestock Exhibition happening right now, which is the largest all-breed, purebred livestock event in the world. So just a little busy here in the building. You know, I didn't do this before we started because I don't know everybody in this room. I'm Cleo Battle. I'm President and CEO of Louisville Tourism. And I'm here today to represent Louisville's hospitality community, who are truly thankful to be a part of the festival's, DWP Festival's longevity and success. Just 2 short months ago, DWP organized 2 back-to-back festival weekends welcoming 300,000 attendees. As we all know, these collective guests contribute to our local economy in a variety of ways, including hotels, food and beverage, as well as transportation services. Bourbon and Beyond brought an estimated economic impact of $11.4 million. Louder Than Life, an estimated economic impact of $18.8 million. Louder Than Life actually outdid our estimate of what we thought the economic impact would be. Combined, these 2 events generate over $30 million for our local Louisville community. In addition, the 8 days of festivals has a massive 62,000 hotel room nights associated with the 2 events combined, which if we take Derby, let's take Kentucky Derby, put that to the side. Of the other events that we do, it's the top 2, they're the top 3 events that we host in our community every year with the 62,000 room nights. But we're here today, just 8 weeks after the success of these 2 events. DWP organizers are here with us today to announce even more ways they are positively contributing to our local community with their charitable contributions through the Leave a Legacy program. Louisville Tourism's created this Leave a Legacy program to help streamline the process of meetings, conventions, and events, looking to include a community outreach component when hosting events in our city. The program helps to foster a connection between the program helped to foster a connection between the DWP Foundation and 5 area nonprofits who will benefit from the generous donations as the 2023 Bourbon and Beyond and Louder Than Life charity partners. During today's program, we will hear from Danny Wimmer Presents to learn more about their foundation and also meet the Louisville community programs that are receiving a collective $110,000 in assistance from the DWP Foundation. Let's just give that a hand. So first, I'd like to get this started I want to invite John Ramsey, who's the Director of City Partnerships with Louisville Metro Government, to join us. John is one of Louisville's biggest advocates and a champion of give back opportunities within his hometown. He brings enthusiasm and passion to the mayor's office, and we're happy to have him with us today celebrating this occasion. Please welcome John Ramsey.
I love the energy in this room. You know, when I see Cleo and I see his team here and I hear of all the innovative things they are doing, not only with Danny Wimmer Presents, but with other entities and making our community better, not only giving tourists a better experience when they come to Louisville, but making our lives better, us here in the community. I always say that Louisville is a great place to raise adults, and I truly believe that. And today is a day that confirms that. The Danny Wimmer team has definitely enhanced the lives of us here in the community, especially those who love music with their concerts, Bourbon and Beyond, and Louder Than Life. The analogy I like to use, I was thinking about this, and I said, it's like a friend coming to your new house that you want to show off. And they say, you know what? Danny Wimmer team comes in, I'm going to throw you a party, and I'm going to invite all these global celebrities, and we're going to have a blast. And then when you think it couldn't get any better, they come back and they say, you know what? And I've got a housewarming gift, and I'm going to give to some of the charitable organizations that you love. And that's what they're doing here today. So I think it's a fabulous initiative. I was also thinking about the fact that, and I think you guys would agree, the tide of music and charitable giving is longstanding. It's so cool when you think about, I don't know, there was the Sandy Relief Fund. You remember Sandy Hook and all of that. There was that relief fund. There was Farm Aid, which came here in 1995 with John Mellencamp and Willie Nelson. But the great thing about this is that it stays right here. The money stays right here in Louisville, enhances people's lives and makes this a better place to live. I really have a great deal of respect for Cleo, I always have. With that being said, he and his team performing the Leave the Legacy program is amazing. And Cleo was talking to me about, hey, this is the beginning. We're gonna try to have more of these conventions and tourist groups who come in, give back to Louisville, and certainly Danny Wimmer Presents has set the bar very high, and we're very appreciative of that. I also applaud the collaboration of the selection of the charitable organizations who received donations today. As we know, there are many worthy charities here in Louisville and nonprofits, but all this great work, all these essential services today, obviously, we are helping do our part by making things like this forum, by Cleo Battle jumping in and say, hey, thank you for everything you've done. Do you mind helping us out a little bit? And Danny Wimmer Presents, Danny Hayes and Danny Wimmer and their team jumped right in and said, yes. In fact, they do it all over the country, but I do think they have a special affinity for Louisville. So this is what I was going to say a win-win, but I'll use a dad joke here. It's kind of like a win-wimmer. Come on, you guys, give me a little help. It's a win-wimmer. So anyway, so again, thank you to Danny Wimmer and his team. Thank you, Cleo Battle. What a great partnership this will be. And I would like to say on behalf of the mayor and this entire community, I look forward to more great days in September and big charitable checks coming from Danny Wimmer Presents. Now I'd like to introduce the man everyone wants to hear from, and I want to hear a big round of applause for him. He's a Renaissance man, folks. I had a chance to interview him the week after Louder Than Life and Bourbon and Beyond, and interesting cat, and a guy who really does have the heart for giving. It's real, folks. Sometimes you see someone say, okay, if I write a check, is that cool? No, he says, I want to write a check. I want to spend time here. I want to get to know people. He is really invested in this community. Please welcome the CEO of Danny Wimmer Presents. That is Mr. Danny Hayes. Danny.
John, you're always a hard act to follow. So thank you for that warm introduction. Cleo, I'm happy about today, but the goal over the next 10 years is to, number one, beat the Derby in hotel nights. And number two, no. And number two, we need to add a 0 to this number over the next 10 years. So we have some work to do, but that's the potential of this city and why Danny Wimmer and I and our team have fallen in love with this city. John, you talk about our commitment to the city, and we don't really do a good job talking about ourselves. Danny and I would prefer to not do this and not tout what we do. But over the last 10 years, we've actually spent $177 million here in Louisville. And that's just the beginning. That represents 25% of our company's business. So, that is our commitment to the city. And that's because of the community and the way in which you guys have made us feel a part of this. I wouldn't be standing here other than we want to honor the charities that we help. So this is really all about them. And I have to start by thanking, Cleo and David Beck. You guys are amazing partners, and your support allows us to do what we do, and your invitation to be part of this community means the world to us. I'm going to apologize. I don't normally look at notes, but Doris gave me 5 pages of talking points. So there's just no way I could memorize it all. And we have a lot to cover, so I'll try to move quickly. Our commitment to Louisville is deep. As everybody knows, we've got Marty Storch and Doris Sims here representing us on a daily basis. We have an office here. I'm getting to Zach. I don't need the coaching. We have a program at DWP that encourages our staff to relocate to Louisville. Zach Evans has recently relocated here from Ohio. See, Marty, I was getting to it. My own assistant, Ashley, is in the process of looking for a home here. Danny Wimmer and I will eventually buy a condo here. And we are actively recruiting for jobs here in Louisville. Our plan over the next 10 years is to have a full service office here in Louisville that supports all of our regional activities. But one of the reasons we love Louisville so much is the opportunity to get involved in this community in a deeper way. That's not something that is necessarily available to us in Los Angeles. And the charities and the civic organizations are really our entry point to this community. So I wanted to call out one of my personal passions. We have Coach Ned Shuck here from the Bellarmine wrestling team. The only D1 wrestling program in the state of Kentucky. And DWP is producing all of their home matches. So I encourage everybody to come out this year to see state-of-the-art, world-class production for a brand new D1 school. Zach Evans has generously donated his time to producing it, and we set an attendance record last week of just about 2,000 people, and we won all 10 of our matches. So very important project to us. And I'm proud of the whole DWP family's commitment to using the power of music to drive social change. And in addition to today's about charities beyond just our on-site partners, but I wanted to call out that our on-site partners generate an additional $200,000 of charity that is spread out throughout the community, but not as directly as this. And we've also given out, just in the past year, over $500,000 of tickets to help local causes fund their charity initiatives. And that's something we do every year as well. And we can't do it alone, right? It takes the partners. And there is no greater partner to DWP than the Kroger Company. They're an incredible, incredible partner to us. They have become the benchmark of what we think a great partner is around the country. And I am certain this is not the last time I will be standing up here calling up someone from Kroger to talk about their good deeds. So it's my great pleasure to introduce my super good friend, Chris Blandford, to talk about Dare to Care.
How's everybody doing? Good. That's the type of energy I like. So I'm up here for two real good reasons. One personal and one for Kroger. And I want to start with the personal one. About 2 years ago, I had the opportunity, this gentleman right here and Danny Wimmer, and John, you said it earlier about changing lives and things like that. They came to me and said, hey, we'd like you to host the Bourbon stage at Bourbon and Beyond. I have never done anything like that in my life. The amount of people that I saw there, I was so nervous to do it. And I was hesitant, and they kept pushing me, and I did it. And it was one of the best things that's ever happened to me in the last 2 years. So I just want to say thank you for giving me that opportunity. Hopefully I'm doing it again this year. We'll find out. I guess we'll find out in a little while. But that was just that personal thing that helped me. Going to Kroger. So 5 years ago, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I'll never forget it. And this is where I said, this team, this DWP team is incredible. We sat around a conference table just talking about what can we do for the community with this festival. Kroger's goal is to feed the human spirit. I think music does that. It feeds the human spirit in so many different ways. The DWP team said, we got to do something. We have to have a charitable thing to do for the community. I remember just tossing out, we should do something for Dare to Care. And instantly, without hesitation, it stopped, and that's what we were going to do. There was nobody else to talk about. It said, we are going to figure out how are we going to donate money to Dare to Care. And they came up with an amazing program to donate, you don't know the amount per ticket, for every ticket sold going directly to Feed the Hungry. If you know Kroger, our number one thing is to make sure that no one goes hungry. Zero hunger, zero waste is our fundament. It's our social media campaign. It's our social platform campaign. And that really means is that if you don't know this, 40% of the food produced in the United States goes to waste, completely to waste. Yet 1 in every 8 people go hungry. There's some math there that's not right. So what we have decided to do is let's give back with music. And another quick thing is I told Doris I was going to do a shameful plug, Danny. So right now, if you don't know, that ends on Sunday. I have the ultimate bourbon auction to end hunger. And that is, you can go on and bid on incredible bottles, and it all goes to Dare to Care to end hungry. All of the proceeds go to Dare to Care in God's Pantry right here in Kentucky and stays right here. So let's end hunger together. Now, that's all I really have. I can sit up here and talk all day long, but I have a very good friend that is actually going to come up, and I think she wants to say 1 or 2 things before we get to a great check presentation. So let's give a big round of applause for Andrea Shepard from Dare to Care.
Thank you all. It's an honor and privilege to be here, especially this time of year. It was 54 years ago next week on Thanksgiving Eve that a little boy named Bobby Ellis, who was 9 years old, died from malnutrition right here in Louisville. He weighed about 30 pounds. And so the community came together and said, we have failed, and how do we make sure this never happens again? And that's how Dare to Care was formed. And that it was a movement made by the community coming together. And if this isn't a perfect example of how that has continued, we would not exist in the way we do if it's not for a partnership with Kroger. And then the fact that these festivals happen in September, that's Hunger Action Month. So it's just a beautiful example of what happens when the community comes together. So it's an honor on behalf of our community. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Now, I think we have something really fun to give you, Andrea.
The first time I've ever held a big check.
Amazing.
Chris and Andrea, it's DWP's pleasure to present you with this check for $25,000 for all the great work that you do for Dare to Care. So, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Doris, I'm turning the page. We're making progress. So one of DWP's real passions is to teach children and students about the jobs in the music business. Everybody wants to be a rock star. And what we like to say is there's a lot of rock stars behind the scenes that do the hard work. And any chance we have, or anyone our staff has, to talk to any student, we love to talk about that. So it was really exciting when we were connected to the Inherit the Music Foundation, and we hosted a behind the scenes tour for their students at Bourbon and beyond. And I think everybody wanted a chance to speak. We probably could have kept them there all day. We also donated $170,000 worth of tickets so that all of the students and the families from the Amped Music Academy could attend the festival, which is really important to us. Let them see for themselves what all that work amounts to. So I'm really excited to ask Dave Christopher, the executive director and founder of Amped, to come up and share a few words about his organization.
So first of all, thank you, Danny Wimmer Presents, Marty, Doris, and all you guys. Real quickly, I founded AMP in 2014 as a place for kids to have a safe place to do music, and we took everything that had anything to do with music. That's like all the instruments, music production, videography, photography, etc. And one of the things we tell them, to your point, is that the music business is a big thing, right? It's more than just being on the stage and all those things. And so we brought these kids in and gave them something productive to do, right? So they came in and they wrote their own music, and they created their own music. They created their own lyrics, and they got in a recording studio and all these things. And what we tell them, and I tell kids all the time, is if there's anything that you're interested in, you should know something about all of it, right? And so get them to understand that this is, and it was funny because Danny, when I walked in, he was saying that it was really tough talking to our kids because they had a lot of questions about money. Like how much does this pay? How much does that pay? And I told them that we encourage them to ask those questions because you should be paid for the work that you do. And when we're talking about kids that are underserved and underprivileged and the kids that are struggling, to tell them to just do it because it's a good thing to do is true. You should, but you should also, for the work that you put in, you should be paid for that. And so what them being able to come behind the scenes and see that this is a lifestyle that you can have, something that you love, that you can do and then make a living with it, and then you can help other people do it is important. So I just want to say that, and we've had a relationship with Danny Wimmer for quite a few years. Back when you guys were doing the Sunday brunch thing, they would call us and we provide artists and stuff for that. So I just want to thank you guys for the amazing work that you do and appreciate. I was blown away by this whole thing because it was a surprise to us. Not just all that you did, but in addition to that, the amount of money that you give. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Slide over here. It's our pleasure to present you. We have a check for $25,000 to continue your great work. Thank you for your partnership. Doris wants me to make sure I emphasize inherit the music. I thought I did. I'm always being coached. So DWP's vision isn't just about music, it's about all arts. And one of the things that we really want to do more of is incorporating local arts from all disciplines into the festivals. So when Secretary Kay Spears introduced us to the Louisville Visual Arts program, that was a natural fit. And it ended up generating a rare opportunity for us to leave a permanent mark on a community, which is not something that happens often to a music festival. And with our good friend Eddie Donaldson, we were able to bring in Shepard Fairey, who painted the Muhammad Ali mural. If you haven't seen it, it is at the Chestnut Street Louisville YMCA. And that was something particularly pleasing to DWP. I'm really excited to introduce Grant Johnson, the interim director of the LVA, to come join me and talk to you about more of the works that we do together.
Well, thank you, Danny. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, everybody who's worked to bring us together today, Cleo, and all of our nonprofits. I really want to just recognize all the other people who are working in this space. It's incredibly important. And Eddie, thank you very much. Glad to see you here today, and I appreciate your partnership in the past, hopefully in the future. So yeah, my name is Grant Johnson. I've been at LVA for about 5.5 years. I'm gonna just very quickly, how many people know about LVA? Louisville Visual Art. So that's encouraging. Not that surprising though, because LVA has been around for 115 years. And that's an exciting thing. This coming year will be the 100th anniversary of our youth education program. Our mission is to nurture Louisville artists throughout their entire creative life cycle. We do that with 3 primary kind of mission objectives: youth art education, professional artist development, and art in public spaces. And that's exciting in itself, but what's even more exciting is the way in which individual programs like that youth education program I mentioned, children's fine art classes, really touch more than one of those mission objectives. So that program not only educates young people, it also provides employment for local artists. And for some of them, it's what allows them to continue an art practice in their studio. It's what allows them to continue teaching in public schools. And so those benefits really extend beyond the sort of narrow definition of a particular program. And the benefits of those programs also extend beyond visual art. So we know that we have students in our programs who not only learn visual art, practice and history, they also benefit with lots and lots of, social skills. They meet friends, they find themselves in a place where they're welcomed, where they feel like they're among peers. We also know that, I just mentioned, but our teachers often find that this is an energizing activity that allows them to stay in public schools. We have one teacher who's taught in public schools for 43 years. She started teaching for us in her 2nd year. And she says she only could stay teaching in JCPS because she also taught for us. And she's continuing to teach for us. She's almost at 50 years of teaching for LVA, which is pretty incredible. So it's a program that I'm glad to have recognized in this way. I'm glad to be part of it. I never lose a minute of sleep. I often say that there's no moral hazard in working for LVA. And I'll leave you with kind of one thought, which is that, I think it's kind of a truism that the capacity for art is what makes us human, but it requires regular engagement with art to keep us human. And so I invite you to look at LVA's website, louisvilleart.org. We've got a couple exciting things that you can do throughout the year. One just happened, our Open Studio weekend. Some of you might know about that. We also have the Art Squared auction that happens in March. So watch our calendar. It's a little bit of a quiet time for us right now, but there will be lots of exciting things happening in the coming year. So thank you.
On behalf of DWP, we'd like to present you with this check for $25,000. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you. This next charity is special to me because everyone at DWP has a charity and they always want us to donate to this cause, that cause. So we created a rule that you have to show a real commitment to the cause for us to support it. You can't just say, do this, do that. We don't want it to be about writing the check. I think you talked about that earlier. We want it to be about your actions. So this charity came through one of our employees, a gentleman named Nick Chavez, who said, will you support the Sweet Evening Breeze Foundation? And he came out here and ran in the Louisville Pride Run in last June to show his commitment to us. So I want to read a quote from Nick that I thought just summed it up really well. Through my work at DWP, I go to Louisville at least 3 times a year. One of the reasons I've fallen in love with DWP's second home is because Louisville is so welcoming to the LGBTQIA community. It is clear why Louisville has ranked a perfect human rights campaign score for its inclusivity. It was my first 5K ever, and I will never forget how proud I felt representing our company in standing up for those that so desperately need to be encouraged to be heard. Thank you, Louisville, for your courage in supporting the Pride community. And with that, I would like to ask Stuart Walker, the program manager for Sweet Evening Breeze, to come up and talk to us.
Good morning, everyone. I really, really love Louisville, and I kind of feel that in the room this morning. There's a couple reasons. One of those is because the people in this room make Louisville a really great place to live. But the other reason I probably won't move anytime soon is because there's a lot of work to do in the community. I'm with Sweet Evening Breeze. Our mission is to provide housing for LGBTQ youth that get kicked out of their homes. We're working with young adults that are 18 to 24 years old. Right now, we provide emergency housing, so we are housing people with vouchers in some of the hotels that we partner with. But early next year, I'm happy to announce that we will have our apartment complex where we will be able to provide transitional housing for young adults. Some of the other things we provide are HIV testing for free in our office. We do free therapy for LGBTQ people 18 to 24. We provide case management. We do resumes, job applications, really anything that a youth or a young adult needs to kind of get back up on their feet. So we are really, really honored to be here today. The executive director wanted to be here today as well, but he had some prior commitments, and we are just really, really thankful for your support. This check that we're getting today is really going to help us out with getting our apartment complex ready and making it feel like home for the youth that are going to be housed there. So thank you.
It's our pleasure to present you with this check for $25,000 for you to continue your work.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're rounding the corner. If DWP is about anything, we're about economic development. That is the core of what we believe, and it is imperative to us that we come into a city and make a positive economic impact. Our motto is to leave it better than you found it, whether that's the grass at the Expo Center or the community itself. And there is no community in Louisville that we are more grateful for than our neighbors in Metro District 21. They, put up with the traffic and the noise, and we're there because of their permission. In particular, former Councilwoman Nicole George and current Councilwoman Betsy Rue are just amazing friends to us and incredibly supportive. So I would like to invite Councilwoman Rue to come to the stage and talk about our next recipient.
So, thank you. I didn't know I was going to be speaking up here. Oh, boy. Well, I would really love to thank on behalf of the neighbors in District 21, DWP for their production and their effort and care at making sure they minimize their impact on everybody in the neighborhood. You guys might not know it, but they've got sound towers on the other side of the stage. And if somebody calls and says, I can't sleep, it's too noisy, they can tune it. And they can cut down the noise. We had somebody call and they say, I can't get any cell service. It keeps breaking up on me. Can you guys fix it? And I called Doris, and Doris said, okay, we'll just send some more bandwidth over that way. And you got self-service. Technology is amazing, guys. But I just like to say thank you so much on behalf of the neighbors, and thank you so much on behalf of the business development community along Preston Highway and our Preston Area Business Alliance. I know Norm is so excited about getting some money here to make the alliance grow and thrive and bring businesses and success to the Preston Highway corridor. So thank you very much.
Well, on behalf of Preston Area Business Alliance, I just want to say thank you. We are working hard at PAVA to create community between business owners within each other's and also with local government. So on behalf of PAVA, thank you very much.
Thank you. $10,000 to continue promoting local businesses. At DWP, we really believe the rising tide raises all ships, and for the local businesses to benefit is one of the single most important things to us. And long-term, our plan is to continue to program events, whether it's pre-events, post-events, weekday events in between the festivals, into more of the community. You know, we want the businesses, the bars, the hotels, everybody to say that these weekends are better than even Derby for our local businesses, Cleo. We're coming for Derby. So again, I want to thank, all of our partners for their support. I want to thank all of our local charities. Thank all of you. And I look forward to coming and doing many more of these, Cleo, with bigger and bigger checks. So thank you, everybody.
I think you said it earlier. Today feels good to be a Louisvillian. Like this is great. It's good to have DWP, and I don't ever want to miss out on the fact these guys are from LA. They're not from our community. They've come to our community, and not only have they brought the festivals, but they bring an impact that changes lives. And so I just want to give you all another hand. Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay. Well, thank you to all the recipients. Thank you, Danny Wimmer, and thank you, Louisville community. That's it for today. Thank you.
Can I get all the charities to come up to the front? Betsy, everybody, I would like to get a group photo.